So a lot of people have been asking me why fragrance reviewers do different fragrance lists, a top 10 for spring and summer and autumn and winter. Is there really that much difference between the seasons? So for example, what's the difference between a spring and a summer fragrance? So I try to explain. It's kind of obvious, spring fragrances, they're fresh, they're zesty, they're green, and they have that feeling of brightness about them, whereas summer ones, they're zesty, they're citrusy, they're kind of sunny, and they were asking me about what's the difference between autumn or fall fragrances and winter. So again, come on, it's autumn fragrances. You're looking for those kind of rich, woody, ambery kind of fragrances that are good when the weather's getting a bit chillier. But when it comes to winter, you're looking for heavy, vanilla, woody, rich fragrances, the ambery kind of. Oh shit. Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be reviewing a really good and inexpensive fragrance. This one is Citrus Wood from Yardley. So Citrus Wood from Yardley was released in 2011 and it's well known mainly for one thing, and that's for the fact that it smells extremely similar to Terre by the House of Hermes. So we're going to be comparing it to that one a little bit and just giving you my overall impression of this fragrance in and of itself. Before we do that then, let's find out a little bit more information about the fragrance. Okay, so the price for Yardley Citrus Wood, I found this one for $9.99 on Beauty Base in the UK. Other places have it more around the £15 mark, but still very cheap. In comparison, Terre Notino has that for 75ml at £64.10. That's a discount price as well. So whichever way you look at it, the Yardley Citrus Wood much cheaper. Now let's have a look at the notes. I'm going to just talk about the notes for Citrus Wood by Yardley. Top notes: bergamot, lime, elemi, grapefruit, lemon, mandarin and orange. In the mid we have birch, pepper, cumin, ginger, tea and carrot seeds, and in the base it's vetiver, sandalwood, amber, cedar, patchouli, moss, tonka bean and vanilla. Now that's a very complicated note listing. There's a slightly different one for Terre d'Hermes, but the main themes you're going to get here that you're going to smell are citrus, probably orange, vetiver, some woodsiness, isoe super, a synthetic smooth woody note, and maybe some patchouli. That's what I get out of this one, and most people wouldn't pick out many of the other notes listed there, I think. So we've heard a pretty good description of the notes on this one, and of course they're very similar, or it is very similar in smell to Terre d'Hermes. That has a slightly different note listing. I think it includes gunflint and some quite interesting things like that, but essentially the smell on these two is so close, it's incredible. So I've sprayed them on pieces of paper here, the Terre d'Hermes and the Citrus Wood, and let's see what I think. So Citrus Wood there, yes, a lovely fresh crisp citrus element. Definitely some woodsiness and vetiver. Very pleasant, classy. It's citrusy and fresh, but it's got woody masculinity about it, and it's an excellent smell to me. The Terre d'Hermes then, the original, the classic 2006 release. Very, very hard to distinguish. If anything then, maybe the Citrus Wood is just a little bit lighter and more airy and has slightly more emphasis on the citrus element, with just a tiny bit more vetiver and earthiness and the sort of gutsiness in the Terre d'Hermes. Now, you could say that that's because the Terre d'Hermes is a better fragrance, got more richness, more depth, but it's quite possible that you might actually prefer the slightly lighter, airier feel of Yardley's Citrus and Wood. Presentation on this one then, not bad, a cheap kind of box, and the bottle is very basic, but it's well done and nothing to complain about there. It's a nice enough bottle, but simple. So for the price, and I've worn this one a lot, it's a 50ml that I've almost finished, and I will probably re-up this one. It's just a really classy go-to choice for work, for everyday wear, and you can wear it in the evenings too if you like. I've had compliments on this. I don't get a lot of compliments, but I've had about 2 unsolicited compliments from people going about my business in the day. Oh, something smells nice, you smell nice, particularly if I've just sprayed it. So it's one of those ones I often reach for, perhaps if I've been to the gym and then I'm nipping to the shops or something afterwards, and I'll have this in my gym bag, spray it on, and I often get compliments that way. So that it's when it's first sprayed, it really does give you a nice projection, and for that first hour or so, you're really going to be smelling quite strong. Maybe an hour or two of the usual thing that you get with fragrances, quite good projection. After that, it does die down to become a sort of average performing scent. And the longevity, from what I can tell, I've only got a sample of Terre, I've sprayed it in the shops time and time again as well, but on my sample of Terre, I do seem to, maybe when I've had them A-B'd on one hand and the other, get a little bit more strength, and it seems stronger for longer, the original Terre. So you are paying more, perhaps you get a slightly stronger fragrance. You may though, however, still prefer the added element of freshness and airiness and almost just a hint more transparency about citrus wood, but they're very, very close in smell, and the longevity is sort of average to not amazing, but it's not horrendous. It's okay for a fragrance. So performance on this one, average. It's not going to be a good performing fragrance, so that's the thing to watch out for. But for the price, I think it's a really great scent. It must be somewhat deliberate that it's so similar to Terre, but they've done a really good job. There are some different notes in this one. I don't pick up really on many of the things like tea that are in there, or the other notes that aren't featured, cumin and carrot seed. I didn't really pick up many of those, but it's just got that lovely tangy, earthy, orangey feel, which is how we normally classify Terre, a kind of dirty orange smell. People often say tangy orange and citrus you're going to get in citrus wood, combined with a smooth vetiver note, maybe some isoe super. That's used a lot in Terre. There's a big quantity of this smooth synthetic note that's used a lot in fragrances, and I'm sure there's a fair dose of it in here, but it's well done and well combined for a really classy, elegant, versatile fragrance that you can get for a great price. I've listed the prices as you find them in the UK. Those were discount, not full retail, and I think you can track this one. I know DracDoc has done a good review of this one where he said he got it really cheaply in the USA, but I'm not entirely sure how cheap it is or how easy to find in the USA, but suffice to say, when you find it, it's going to be less than the original Terre. Whether you want to pay that little bit extra to know you've got the real thing, and for that little bit of extra longevity, it's up to you, but there is a slight difference in smell. You could even prefer citrus wood, and for me, it's the reason I don't at this moment own Terre, because I'm happy enough for this when I want that kind of smell. Great versatile scent, daytime, nighttime, any time of year really. Spring, autumn seem good times for this one, but I've worn it in the winter, daytime, no problem, and in the absolute high heat, maybe the vetiver woodiness could be a bit much, so you might want something more transparent than this, but pretty darn versatile for any kind of occasion. A very, very pleasant smell and a great value fragrance that everybody considering getting some cheap ones in their armoury that they can really just spray with abandon. I don't mind respraying this after a couple of hours because it's so cheap. Anyone else out there, if you want a cheapie that you can spray all day, this is a great choice. So for me, Yardley Citrus Wood, I would give it a very solid 8 out of 10. And I'd give Terre 8 out of 10 as well. And that doesn't take price into consideration, that mark. It's just how much I like the smell. So value-wise, Yardley Citrus Wood wins. Check it out if you can and let me know what you thought of my review. And of course, remember, whatever we're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.